Have you ever felt it? That quiet echo at the end of a busy day. You've pursued goals, read the right books, listened to the podcasts, applied the strategies. But the feeling that something fundamental is missing persists. We live in an age of infinite information, searching for a manual for a life everywhere except the one place where the author resides. What if the greatest revolution of your existence wasn't in a new technique or an influential content, but in tuning into a different frequency? A conversation not with the world, but with the creator of the world. There is a portal to genuine transformation from the inside out, and it opens with the simplicity of a dialogue, the invitation to beyond the known. Most of us operate with a limited map of reality, drawn only by what human logic can see. But in the ancient scriptures, in Jeremiah 33, we find a direct invitation from the engineer of the universe. Call upon me, and I will give you an answer. I will reveal to you great and mysterious things beyond your comprehension. Understand the depth of this. It's not just a promise of help, it's a promise of revelation. God is saying, speak to me, and I will expand the boundaries of your known world. I will show you the secret routes, the hidden possibilities that your mind alone could never conceive. While the world offers you tools, he offers the treasure map, the alchemy of the mind in dialogue with God, masters of human potential. Like Napoleon Hill taught us that more gold has been mined from the thoughts of men than from the minds of the earth. Our minds are generators of reality. But what happens when this generator is connected directly to the source of all energy and wisdom? This is where prayer transcends ritual and becomes co-creation. Your ideas, previously limited by your experience, are infused with divine creativity. The impossible begins to soften its contours because the equation changes. It is no longer me against the problem, but me in partnership with the Almighty. This dialogue doesn't require flowery words or rigid postures. It yearns for authenticity. It's pouring out your heart as one would speak to the most loyal of friends. It's about presenting your fears, your wildest dreams, and your deepest flaws, knowing that he not only understands, but has the power to rewrite history. And it's raw prayer. When vulnerability becomes a miracle, consider the story of Anna. She lived under the weight of shame, in a culture that saw her infertility as a curse. The humiliations were daily, the tears silent. But one day, she transformed her silent weeping into a bold conversation with God. She didn't recite a prayer. She stripped herself of all her pain at the altar. It was so visceral, so raw, that the priest thought she was drunk. It was in that moment of total vulnerability that heaven bent down to listen. That conversation, born of agony, changed her biology and rewrote her legacy. God transformed her suffering into a miracle named Samuel. Perhaps that's what's missing in your life. To stop carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders and have your own Anna's conversation. An honest surrender that invites the supernatural to intervene. Many treat God as a spiritual emergency room, to be called only in times of crisis. But true strength is built on constancy, on the intimacy of a daily relationship, not on the urgency of despair. Daily bread and the peace that precedes the unanswered has taught us to ask for our daily bread, not for the week or the month. This is a profound lesson about relationships. God desires a daily connection, a constant check-in. This practice is the true nourishment of the soul. Just as your body weakens without food, your spirit becomes fragile without this connection. And the first evidence of this spiritual nourishment is not necessarily the answer you expect, but the peace you don't understand. The scriptures in Philippians assure us that as we surrender our anxieties to Him, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds. This peace is a shield. It comes before the solution, protecting you from doubt and fear while God works behind the scenes. Those who live in this peace are already victorious, regardless of the circumstances. Moses and the secret of face-to-face intimacy. Can we cultivate this depth? Consider the life of Moses. The Bible recounts something astonishing, that the Lord spoke to him face to face, as one speaks to a friend. Imagine the quality of this friendship. He was not a distant and intimidating God. He was a divine confidant. This intimacy transformed a stuttering shepherd into the liberator of a nation, capable of parting seas and confronting empires. Moses' power was not in himself, but in the direct access he had to the throne room. But how do I hear God's voice? You might ask. The truth is, he is always speaking, through his word, a song, a situation, the advice of a friend, in the deep silence of your heart. The problem isn't transmission, it's our reception. Our minds are filled with static anxiety about the future, the noise of social media, the voices of criticism. Talking to God is also learning the art of silence, of creating an internal space that his whisper becomes the clearest voice of all. Daniel, discipline as an unshakable foundation Constantine in this dialogue builds something in you that the world can not tear down. Look at Daniel, exiled in a pagan land, under a death decree that prohibited the practice of faith. The logic of survival would say, pray in secret, hide yourself. But Daniel maintained his non-negotiable habit. 3 times a day, with the windows open, he talked to God. His discipline was a public declaration of trust. The lion's den wasn't his greatest test. It was the consequence of his faithfulness. He survived not by luck, but because he had such deep roots in this daily relationship that no political storm or mortal threat could uproot him. Those who converse with God daily do not live at the mercy of circumstances. They live under the jurisdiction of divine faithfulness. This habit reorganizes your mind, aligns your priorities, and injects courage where there was once fear. You are the light, the contagious impact of your connection, and this transformation is not selfish. It overflows. When you become a person who converses with God daily, you change the atmosphere around you. People will notice a different peace in you, a firmness in your gaze, a wisdom in your words. You become, as Jesus said, the light of the world, a light that is not yours, but that shines through you. Your calm in the midst of crisis becomes a beacon for others. Your hope amidst bad news becomes contagious. Your life becomes living proof that it is possible not to be overwhelmed by external chaos when you're anchored in the eternal. Maybe you feel like you don't have time, but we always make time for our priorities. 5 minutes in the car, 10 minutes before bed. It's not the duration, but the consistency that brings about transformation. Paul and Silas, the praise that shakes the foundations of the prison. What if you feel trapped today? Trapped in debt, in a toxic relationship, in illness, in fear. Remember Paul and Silas, in the deepest, darkest place of a Roman prison, chained and wounded. Humanly, it was the end, but they chose to begin a conversation with God. At midnight, the moment of greatest darkness, they began to pray and sing. What happened next was extraordinary. An earthquake shook the prison to its foundations. The doors opened. The chains fell away. Their conversation with God not only freed them, but also freed all the other prisoners. This is the exponential power of their dialogue with heaven. He has the strength to shake the structures that hold you back and create a path where there is no way out. Your prayer today could be the earthquake you've been waiting for. The ultimate partnership. Co-creating your destiny. We've reached the crucial point. Conversation with God is the key to the ultimate partnership. Jesus assured us, if you abide in me, and my words abide in you, you will ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. This isn't a blank check. It's the description of a life so connected, a dialogue so constant, that your desires begin to align with God's desires. And when that happens, miracles become natural. Successful philosophies say that what the mind can conceive, it can achieve. But here's the ultimate revelation. When your mind learns to converse with God, the limits of what you can conceive expand infinitely. It's no longer just you yourself. It's in partnership with God and this combination is the final invitation, sir. Today, the choice is yours. Don't delay. Don't wait for the next crisis. Start now. Open your heart. Talk about your pain, your dreams, your fears, and then be silent. Quiet your mind and listen, because He answers, He guides, He strengthens. As an act of commitment. Write in the comments now. My life changes when I talk to God. Make this your public declaration. A pact that you are choosing to live in constant dialogue with the Creator. Remember, people may fail, circumstances may change, but God's presence and voice are the only constant you can fully trust. If this message touched your heart and you desire more content to strengthen your spiritual journey and bring you closer to this transformative conversation, I invite you to join our community. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on the notification bell. You are not alone on this journey. Let's go together.